Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a special edition of the Bama Standard. And why are you seeing us? Well, I have a very good reason. All I'm going to say is Merry Christmas. But before we get to the present, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button and get in the live comment section and jump in the comment section after the show. If you're watching the replay, let us know what you think. The reason we're here, Stephen M. Smith. Well, first of all, Workspace Solutions provides a platform, and Altmont Financial Partners helps us out as well. But it's a Merry Christmas. And let me first welcome you in on your busy day. You're the busiest man in college football right now, arguably more than I'd say 247 and on three and whatever your favorite publication is. Stephen M. Smith, we have had a historic recruiting class for the 2023 cycle. Before we kind of touch on that, go ahead and break the news to the Bama fans. Who is this latest Christmas gift that St. Nick has provided us?
Well, it looks like it is five-star defensive back Desmond Ricks out of IMG Academy down there in Bradenton, Florida, choosing the Crimson Tide over LSU. Given Alabama its 28th guy to sign in this class. It's 10th five-star, according to our own Justin Smith, the lead scout and recruiting analyst for TDA. Justin has done a remarkable job scouting these young men in Alabama's fourth five-star defensive back, joining Tony Mitchell, Jaleel Hurley, and Caleb Downs. So this is an insane class that Saban has put together on paper. If this group pans out on the field like we hope that it does, you can put this class up there with the 2008 class, a 2013 class, more notably the 2017 class that did so much big things for the Alabama football program. But right now on paper, this 2023 class, absolutely insane with the amount of five-star talent that Nick Saban at 71 years of age was able to put together.
Yeah, without question. And, it's funny. Alabama lost 2 games this year, and a lot of pundits and maybe even some fans were claiming the sky indeed was falling. The dynasty was on the downward turn. Stephen, I had to argue with that because if a dynasty is on the downward trend, we would not be doing things like we're doing right now. Arguably, probably one of the best classes ever, as you said. As you look at this guy compared to some of the other big names you just mentioned, Tony Mitchell's there, Caleb Downs. How soon can Desmond Ricks make an impact? Will he make an immediate impact, or will he take a little bit of time to kind of develop before being inserted into the lineup?
Well, I do not see him participating in bowl prep. I can see him being a guy that'll come in the spring and get his feet wet, get himself acclimated to the program, the system, the playbook. I mean, here's a guy that has range as a boundary corner. I don't think he has any relation to Eli Ricks. And you got to wonder, what will Eli Ricks' move be after the Sugar Bowl? Does he choose to come back another season, which I think he should, just due to he doesn't have enough tape in Alabama? But if he chooses to pursue the next level, that being the draft, at least you do have a Desmond Ricks that's right there and ready to go and play and ball out should that be the move. So with Desmond Ricks, he can run with receivers. He can turn and play the football. He does have athleticism, is an aggressive corner. So I like those traits to him. And in his game, it just depends upon what does Eli Ricks do after the Sugar Bowl. That will play a long tail here in this tape. And also, what does Brian Branch do after the Sugar Bowl? He's been rumored as one of the top guys in terms of the draft process, but he's talked about he hasn't thought about the draft. He hasn't looked at the draft. His focus is on the Sugar Bowl, as we expect all players to say that. But what does Brian Branch do after the Sugar Bowl? What does Eli Ricks do? That's going to go a long way into determining how many of these young 2023 kids will actually play, especially on defense.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm definitely keeping my eyes on Brian Branch. I would like to have one more year with him. But right now, from what I'm understanding, he's getting a first round grade. But I kind of think he needs one more year, one more solid year. And from a selfish standpoint, I'd like for him to come back and from a leadership aspect, to kind of coach up this young defense that we'll be inheriting this next season. As you know, and as Alabama fans know, we're losing quite a bit of people, notable people. Having that veteran presence does make a difference. I think Eli Ricks himself needs another year of tape, like you said, just not enough this year. And I don't think enough to show scouts that he is indeed healthy. And I just think they need to see a little bit more from him. But going back to Desmond Ricks, you spent a lot of time during this whole recruiting process with Justin Smith. What do you think was the turning point for Desmond in terms of coming to Alabama over LSU?
I think just getting them on campus for a lot of these kids, it's you got to get them on campus for an official visit or unofficial visit and just let them see the vibe that goes on. The vibe of the players already there, the vibe of the coaching staff, the vibe of the fans. I mean, I go back to 2020, Justin, you and I both know when COVID first hit and you couldn't get those interactions. You couldn't get the coaches in your house. You couldn't get the coaches in your living room. You were on Zoom, and though Zoom is cool, you don't get that interpersonal one-on-one sit down. You don't get a chance to gauge that person's mindset. You don't get a chance to gauge that person's character. Especially, you don't get a chance to sit down in that kitchen and see what mama and grandmama cooking up there in that kitchen table. So a lot of things, when you're not able to go house to house, place to place, you miss out on things. And getting a chance to have, a Desmond Ricks on campus, having him see things, view things, watch things, get a chance to see the vibe of what is the Alabama football program. I feel like that was the turning point for him. And I think that was also the turning point for Caden Proctor. When you flipped him late, you got a chance to get him on the campus to see what he needs to see to make that decision.
Yeah, no doubt. And I got to ask it because arguably the busiest recruiter in the nation was not Pete Golding, but rather Richard Young. As we saw throughout this whole recruiting cycle, he's been the most active, other than a few of his other fellow recruits, just actively going after a lot of these guys in the 2023 classes. Is Desmond another Richard Young poached player, or is this a guy that was kind of influenced by other means?
I think honestly, Desmond Ricks is one of Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach, who I know a lot of people give Charles Kelly a lot of credit, which Charles Kelly did a tremendous job as he exits in a first class way to join Coach Prime up there in Colorado. But Freddie Roach did a phenomenal job this class. He finished out as the number 2 recruiter in the nation for his 2023 class. And a lot of people are wondering, is Freddie Roach really it? Now he's got to get these defensive linemen playing the right way. That's one area of Freddie's coaching game he's got to get down. But as far as a recruiter, I mean, he had a big hand in these 2023 kids. And what's crazy is, Justin, is a lot of these guys, all they have ever known is Bama dominate. These are kids that they never saw Bama 3-8 under Mike Shula. They never saw Bama 6-6 under Mike Shula. All they've ever known is the Saban era and winning championships. So for the pundits that look at, well, the sky is falling for Alabama, these kids don't see that. All they've ever grown used to is Bama holding a crystal ball or Bama holding a college football playoff trophy. So in this sense, that selective amnesia that a lot of these kids have, it's a good thing for Alabama football.
Without a doubt. Of course, like I said earlier, you were the busiest man in college football yesterday. You were going how many hours, Stephen, with that McMuffin and an energy drink?
Look, man, I was up at 4 a.m. and I did not get done until about 7 p.m. So that McGriddle, a couple of things of Chick-fil-A, a few shots of espresso, and a wild, crazy hair day. That was me.
You pulled it off. Salute to you and your efforts yesterday. And we as Bama fans greatly appreciate that, especially those of us who were at work and weren't able to really tune in the way we wanted to. But before we close out, just kind of give your overall grade of this class. And one, tell me who is your MVP of this class. And then do you have maybe a dark horse in this that may end up being a star that we weren't expecting?
Okay. So before I go into that, man, I just got to give Justin Smith all the kudos. I mean, that guy was up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, getting everything set. I mean, I get in the office, he's already there with all the pencil and the paperwork, and all the guys have signed their national letters of intent. Like, Justin was in there, like, for real, with a pick in his hair. Like, he was in there getting all that stuff together. All I had to do was set my stuff on the desk and say, let's roll. And, John Ivory was fantastic. He was there at about 5 a.m., getting all the instrumental beats together to put the music together for us to go on live. So it was a total group effort. Our own Eli Walker was at the ceremony of Tony Mitchell getting the live shot. He was at the ceremony for Quay Russo and James Smith getting the live shots there. So it was a full-on effort by everybody involved. But in terms of grade, solid A. I mean, solid A work there. Could have been an A+ if you could have gotten a Peter Woods, if you could have gotten a Kelby Collins. That could have really put it over the top. But a solid A, regardless of how this thing went. I thought Alabama hit on major needs in the offensive line, major needs in the defensive secondary, hit on some quality guys at wide receiver, got 2 stud running backs, got 2 really good quarterbacks. I mean, Bama hit on needs all across the board here. I thought the MVP of this class was Caleb Downs. I mean, Nick Saban said it. This guy has leadership qualities that are hard to find. He's the right kind of player for this program. And Saban only raves like that for a handful of guys. Minkah Fitzpatrick comes to mind instantly. So, I mean, Caleb Downs, to get that dude, he's the MVP of this class. And I feel like a guy that's kind of a dark horse to me, I think Raquez McElderry on the offensive line. I mean, smallest guy on the line at 6'3", but he's a flat dog. I mean, he's a mauler of a guard, dog. And he's got just an infectious personality. But I think Alabama fans will fall in love with him from day one. His personality is Landon Dickerson-esque, the personality. I mean, he's got a personality that will just galvanize people together. He's a glue guy, but you get this kid on the field, he's an animal. Love McElderry.
Yeah, speaking of animal, piggybacking off of that, I have to go with I don't know if you call them dark horses, but maybe just aren't quite getting as much hype as, say, others. One, on the defensive side of the ball, got to go with Hunter Osborne. Just really impressive.
Love him. I'm going to say this. I remember Hunter Osborne and Justice Finkley, both at Hewitt Trustfield. Justice Finkley got more of the hype as he went to Texas in the 2022 class. But Justin Smith was like, who's this other guy? It came out to be Hunter Osborne. That dude's a freak. I mean, he'll be a developmental player at 6'4", 250 pounds, but that guy's a freak show.
Yeah, without a doubt. Then on the offensive side of the ball, got to go with our own Miles McVay. You and I, as well as the rest of the crew from the Bama Standard, had a wonderful opportunity to sit down that was really supposed to be about 10, 15 minutes. It ended up going the whole hour. Just an impressive guy.
Kid was like, I'm coming to take what's mine. And to throw out Will Anderson and Dallas Turner, oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, when we flat out asked him, who were you looking forward to going head to head the most? And without hesitation, I was expecting somebody from another school. No, he's talking about practice. Will Anderson, Dallas Turner. No, is it arrogant? Is it cocky? No, that's telling me he's a warrior. He wants to go against the best guy on the field to make himself better. So that to me just spoke volumes about the young man. And he's all about team. He knows the assignment right now. But one other guy I got to talk about, and we spent time with him as well, Stephen, is Brayson Hubbard. I think this guy is going to turn into a tremendous athlete. Seeing him have an incredible year in Mississippi, Ocean Springs, and just what he brings to the table. He could possibly play on both sides of the ball. Either way, we can't go wrong with the guy. Tremendous work ethic, incredible wheels. The dude is fast, but I like what I see from this young man, and I think that he can end up being somebody that turns some heads.
He's another. I mean, Brayson Hubbard, another developmental guy, but I feel like once he latches on, this dude could probably be a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he can play offense, can play defense. Alabama's going to look at him to be a safety. I mean, I'll say this: if he hits, he can more than likely be a better version of Benny Sunseri. And Vinny was really good. People forget Vinny was really good coach's kid, son of Sal Sunseri. If Vinny Sunseri doesn't get hurt in 2013, him and Landon Collins back there, that could be a national championship. People forget how good Vinny truly was. So if Brayson hits in that way, could be on that same level as Vinny was.
That is not a bad comparison right there at all, brother. And what a huge compliment too to be compared to Vinny Sinceri. Hey, and other news, I'm hearing some rumblings that one Sal Sinceri, his father, may be returning to on the field duties at Bama. I've heard rumblings. That would be incredible if we could find some way to get him back on the field. I feel like that was a missing element this past season. Time will tell, but listen, folks, thank y'all for tuning in. We thank for everybody for jumping in the chat. If you're with us right now, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching the replay, let us know what you think about Desmond Ricks and then this just phenomenal class. But as far as the Bama Standard, Stephen M. Smith and myself, that'll do it for us. Everybody have a great night. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in the Sugar Bowl.